Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Lamplight City. Wir haben hoffentlich einen Weg gefunden, Parson wegzubekommen. Ist er Parson?
Damn, looks like Parsons didn't take the bait. He must not have considered that case enough to prove himself to Snelling.
Okay, offensichtlich. Das falsch. Hört sich doch aber gut an, fand ich.
Got a moment?
Yes? Nothing worse than a picky investigator. I wish more people were... All right, these are the, as of yet, unassigned crimes. A woman in Chumley reported hearing a single gunshot in her neighbor's apartment last night. There was a deadly explosion at a factory in Worcester that may be linked to sabotage. And that's it for right now. Any of those strike your fancy?
Let's hear about the gunshot.
Ethel Williamson reported hearing a sound she described as a single gunshot coming from her neighbor's apartment last night. She said she had been hearing arguments over the past several weeks, and there may have been domestic violence involved. When she knocked on the door, she got no answer, but she said she noticed the distinct smell of flowers.
Intriguing.
Do you think Parsons will be interested?
Ach,
Sounds
wieso
good.
nicht?
Let's go with that one.
All right, I'll send out the report as soon as we're done talking.
That's it for now.
Better get back to it then.
Hat wahrscheinlich auch nicht funktioniert. Ich kann es mir nicht vorstellen, aber mal gucken. Oh doch, das hat funktioniert.
Looks like Parsons took the bait. Now maybe we can finally have a look around the crime scene. Judging by these books, let's just...
Begging your pardon, officer.
Yes, what is it, sir?
Is there anything you can tell me about Desiree Lathan?
I couldn't really say.
Come now, I'm trying to help this investigation. Any small detail would be useful.
Well, I haven't really looked over the crime scene too much. It's rather gruesome, you see.
Is the body still here?
Yes, what's left of it at any rate. Miss Lathan was only identified by the tattoo on her foot.
I see. Do you enjoy working with Officer Parsons?
If I'm being honest, he can be a bit much sometimes.
Trust me, you're not the only one who feels that way. I didn't have much interaction with him when I was a detective, but the few times I did weren't very pleasant.
I could tell he doesn't seem to care much for you. Although I don't think he cares much for anyone except the chief, and that's only because he's the one who gives out the promotions.
What was Chief Snelling doing here?
He was inspecting the crime scene.
Yes, but why was he involved? Is there something special about it that would require the chief of police to look into it?
Well, someone thought it might be related to the big case we're not supposed to talk about.
You mean the mass murderer?
Yes, sir. I could see why the chief is upset that the news has gotten out.
And is it related?
No, I don't believe so. But the news reports have been getting the public on edge.
Of course. The less information there is, the easier it is for rumors to start spreading.
Exactly. Chief Snelling has a lot of fires to put out.
If that's the case, it's too bad he didn't get to Miss Lathan in time.
Has there been much progress here?
Snelling and Parsons examined the scene, that's all I know.
Do you think I might have a look, now that the initial investigation's been conducted?
I'm afraid that's out of the question, sir. I have my orders.
Officer Kane, I'm trying to aid this investigation. There may have been something overlooked by the others.
If Parsons were to catch you, my career would be over.
Trust me, he won't be back for some time. I swear on my honor as a former member of the New Britannia Police.
All right, I suppose you can go in for a moment, but please be quick about it.
Thank you, Officer Kane. I promise this will stay between us.
I just love rookie officers. They're so gullible. I once got one to shine my shoes for a week after convincing him it was department policy. Good times.
Thanks for your time, officer.
Not a problem.
Okay.
That's certainly a pungent aroma. I can see why the officer stuck to the living room.
Surprisingly modest quarters for a grande dame. You'd never guess she could buy out the likes of you and me 1,000 times over. Doesn't look as though this fireplace has been used in a long time. I suppose we can rule it out as the source. As much as I like this painting, this isn't the time for art appreciation. Some crumpled up letters. They look to be of the romantic variety.
They're from the same person, one Peter Andrews.
It's always sad to see a case of unrequited love. I'm thinking we should find out who this Peter Andrews is.
Good idea. Now, are you finally willing to admit that looking through rubbish does yield results sometimes?
Fine, you win. But I don't think I envy your prize.
Liebste Desiree, ich bitte dir mein Herz, auch wenn ich dir nicht meine Hand anbieten kann, wenn nur die Umstände anders wären. Warum müssen Leben und Liebe so grausam sein? Ich muss dich weiterhin aus der Entfernung lieben und anbeten. Ich kann nur hoffen, dass diese Gefühle auf gegenseitig beruhen. Ihr lieber Peter. Meine liebste Desiree, erneut muss ich dir meine Liebe gestehen. Auch wenn du mir auf keinen meiner Briefe bisher geantwortet hast, hege ich immer noch die Hoffnung, dass du für mich empfindest, was ich für dich empfinde. Ich bleibe dir immer treu ergeben. Wenn du nach mir rufst, eile ich sofort an deine Seite. Wir werden in baldiger Zukunft als Mr. und Mrs. Andrews verbunden sein. In Liebe, Peter. Okay.
It looks as though Miss Lathan was in the middle of writing something.
It's an article for Brentwell magazine.
Das innere Feuer entfachen von Desiree Lathan für das Brentwell Magazin. Wir haben alle kennen den Gedanken des inneren Feuers, ein Begriff, der unseren Sinn für Leidenschaft oder Hingabe beschreiben soll. Aber wie wäre es, wenn dieses innere Feuer eine eher physische Natur hätte? Wie wäre es, wenn also jeder von uns die Möglichkeit hätte, ein echtes Feuer in unserem Körper zu entfachen? Hat sie das probiert?
Igniting the fires within. A bit on the nose, wouldn't you say? Classic Brentwell. They have a reputation for making their writers go to extremes for their articles, all for the sake of entertainment.
Perhaps we should pay their offices a visit, see exactly what it was Miss Lathan was doing for them.
That's a nice portrait of Miss Lathan. Too bad it was damaged by the fire. The area where the artist's signature should be has been singed and is unreadable. Too bad.
But the date is still legible. It's from this year.
Okay.
Ashes to ashes and all that. I'm glad I was buried. Cremation always seemed a bit too hot to handle.
Now's not the time for jokes, Bill.
Are you serious? Death is the best time for jokes. Otherwise, it's all just a bunch of boo-hoo-hoo this and wah-wah-wah that. And trust me, there's plenty of that in life. Hell, you'd know better than anyone.
All right. Just shut it for a bit while I look over the crime scene, would you? I need to concentrate.
Alas, poor Desiree, a woman of infinite riches, of tastes most fancy. Where's all your money now? Come to think of it, that question might be worth answering. Ugh, greasy, fetid, stinking ashes. Who knew the human body was capable of producing such a disgusting byproduct?
I'm surprised the coroner hasn't taken the body away yet.
Probably because there isn't much of a body left to take. Either that or Dr. Edwards knows better than to deal with something like this.
That's extremely unlike him. He'd jump at the chance to examine this body. Perhaps we should allow him the pleasure.
I hope you're not suggesting what I think you're suggesting. I don't think Desiree will be able to give us a hand with this investigation.
Bill?
What? I thought it was funny. This one's clean. Well, aside from the fact that the rest of the leg is burned off. There's a tattoo on her ankle. It says, "Dancing through life." Hate to break it to her, but that dance is over. Miles, do you really want to go carrying around those stinking ashes in your pocket? It'll take ages to get the smell out.
Good point. I'll need to find something to carry them in.
Odd. Another pile of ashes under the bed. Looks as though whatever she kept underneath got burned too. Or it could be that whatever was under the bed is what caught fire in the first place. Although, there's no evidence of what started it. All that's left is a small piece of cloth. Might as well take it.
The cloth appears to have some oily residue on it. Interesting.
Just a pile of ashes.
There's a letter in here.
Liebe Miss Lathan, mit diesem Schreiben möchte ich Ihnen mitteilen, dass wir Ihre Bitte, den Begünstigten in Ihrem letzten Willen und Testament zu ändern, erhalten haben. Bitte kommen Sie in die Kanzlei von Ocean Price bei dem Catman Street 72 in Worcester, sodass wir die Dokumente durchsehen und die entsprechenden Änderungen vornehmen können. Mit freundlichen Grüßen, Jonas Ascher.
This just keeps getting more and more interesting. The law firm of Usher and Price isn't too far from here. I think it's definitely worth paying him a little visit.
Okay, wir müssen was finden, indem wir die Asche transportieren können. Ich habe nicht viel gefunden.
Nothing else of it. Doesn't look as though this fireplace.
Ich glaube, hier finden wir auch gerade.
As much as I like this painting.
Jetzt die Frage, ob ich hier rausgehen darf.
Nothing else of interest in there. Looks like this one barely managed to survive. Pity. It looked like a nice work of art. The flames must have been fairly high to be able to stain the ceiling like that. The flames must have...
Mehr sehe ich jetzt hier nicht. Leider zumindest.
Was there someone else in the room just now? I thought I heard you talking.
Oh, no. It's just sometimes I think aloud when investigating crime scenes.
I see.
Good save. We don't need any more police officers thinking you're insane.
Okay, also hier finde ich nichts, um die Asche zu transportieren. Gegebenenfalls dürfen wir später nochmal rein. Aber wir müssten ja genug Sachen freigeschaltet haben, um uns anzugucken. Wir könnten zu Usher and Price, wir könnten zum Supper Club oder zum Brandwell Magazin. Wir gehen mal zu Usher and Price. Ich meine, liegt direkt neben dran.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the law offices of Usher and Price. May I help you?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator, and I'm looking for Jonas Usher.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but Mr. Usher is not seeing anyone today. If it's a matter of urgent legal importance, you could see Mr. Price.
The plaque says it's a portrait of Thomas Usher. Looks like a real go-getter. That pipe really clashes with the rest of the decor in here.
Okay, wir haben nur die Tür und die Schreibkraft.
Begging your pardon, sir.
Yes?
If I may ask, what is the reason for Mr. Usher's refusal to see anyone today?
He has a rather important trial starting tomorrow and doesn't want to run the risk of falling ill.
Falling ill?
Mr. Usher is very particular about his health. Very particular.
I see. Might it be possible to relay a message to Mr. Usher?
Yes, you can leave a message or calling card with me, and I'll make sure Mr. Usher gets it.
Sir, it is of the utmost importance that I speak with Mr. Usher.
And as I said, he isn't taking visitors today.
But it's in regards to his client, Desiree Lathan. Or should I say, former client.
Miss Lathan found another attorney?
No, I'm sorry to be the one to have to inform you, but she's dead.
Dead? I had no idea.
No? It was in today's newspaper.
I haven't read it yet. Mr. Usher forbids it in the office.
But surely he's read it. Just because he forbids you reading the paper in the office.
No, I mean he forbids the presence of newspapers in the office. He fears they bring in outside germs.
I see.
In any case, if what you say is true, I'll need some sort of proof.
I suppose just bringing in a copy of the newspaper is out of the question, then. We'll have to find another way.
Perhaps Mr. Usher will see me when he sees this.
Oh? What's that?
A letter from Mr. Usher to his client, Desiree Lathan.
What? That's private correspondence. How did you get that?
It was evidence I found at a crime scene.
And how is it relevant?
The crime scene in question was Miss Lathan's own bedroom, where she was found burned to death.
That's quite a claim, Mr. Fordham. I can assure you that Mr. Usher deals primarily with facts. Right now, the only fact this letter proves to me is that you somehow rummaged through Miss Lathan's possessions and acquired it.
He does have a point. We'll need something a bit more persuasive.
Right. Please stop wasting my time then. I'm very busy.
I appreciate
Okay.
your time.
Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Gut, dann sind wir hier auch fertig. Aber wir haben ja noch ein paar Sachen, die wir investigieren können. Ich bedanke mich aber fürs Zusehen und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Ciao, ciao!